Saturday at home. General thoughts on a brawl victory?
Fun win. The environment was great. We recruit to this environment a little bit, and so to have our fans and community show up the way they did, I felt like we had a 6-man out there tonight. This is one of those days, right, where you challenge your team to pay attention to details, do your job was kind of the theme going into the game, more so on the defensive side of the ball, just understanding the scout, understanding personnel, the things we couldn't let happen if we wanted to win, and we did a phenomenal job of executing as well as we have all year. And then down the stretch, we just had grit in the second half to hold them off.
Kai, it's been 2 months or so since you last started. Just what was your mindset coming in, and how did it feel to deliver for your team?
Yeah, first off, it felt great. And I think my mindset's just trusting the process and trusting the work I've put in my whole life, and trusting the coaches and the guys around me to make the right plays. And then sometimes it just falls your way. Tonight it was me, but I mean, if we keep playing together like that, it could be anyone on any given night for sure.
Kind of the ball screen stuff, where were you finding so much success? Why was that so good for you today?
Yeah, I think just playing at a good pace, not rushing anything, not getting too antsy coming off the ball screens, and letting my roller roll and making the right reads. And then tonight the read was shooting the ball because they were dropping. So that's just what it was tonight.
Travis, what do you think of that element too, of not only him but a lot of your guys on your team finding the advantageous matchup, I guess?
Well, that was one of the things I've been kind of holding on to a little bit over the last week. He's been really good in practice with the ball in his hands. The difficult thing with this group is we've got a few guys that are really good with the ball in their hands, and that's their strength. And so for us to find a good balance offensively has been a little difficult for the group, and we're growing. But I knew the way they defended the ball screen and with not a lot of speed in front of him, that this would be a game that he'd have a lot of room to operate.
Travis, Kai's new to the team this year. Can you just speak to his progress he's been making throughout the season to be ready to step up in a moment like this?
He's a gamer. We saw signs of it in closer scrimmage and practice every day. We had some heated practices in July. In September, when the majority of our perimeter was back playing, you could see how he thrived in competitive environment. But I knew when he came on his official visit, because we told him that we would be bringing in a lot of guards, and we would be guard heavy. Tried to pressure him a little bit in a decision, and he said, "I don't care, coach. I like competition, and whoever you take, I'm confident that I'll be able to contribute." So we knew what he had in his tank when he made that statement.
Joe, you found some stuff in the middle of the lane, especially on the roll stuff. Can you just break that down and why that was so effective for you tonight?
It's like you said, they were switching a lot, so that was an advantage for us. And we got guys like Kai making plays. They're really worried about his playmaking ability and his ability to get to the basket. So just left me open a couple times, and I was able to do some things down there for myself.
Trav, you talked about the switching defensively that Montese does on Thursday. What did you think of their execution against that, and what are some of the advantages you found there?
I thought we were great. I thought we started off slow though. We had some openings. Joe was open early, and as the guys know, I get a little emotional sometimes when we don't execute early, and we missed him. But I really wanted it to go in to set the tone. I wanted to see if they were going to double early, and they did come once, but we never really got the ball in. And so I think the biggest thing was that we were aggressive but patient at the same time, which is hard. When you think you have an advantage, and both guys think they have an advantage, and they got to play together and get the best shot. And it's very difficult unless you trust the other guy. And I thought tonight we had a high level of trust in one another.
Coach, in the first half, MSU was doing a lot with Brandon Walker, and then in the second half it was very Patrick McMahon heavy. Can you take us through what you saw from those two guys in the moments where they did get through your defense a little bit?
Yeah, I think we knew, right, going into the game that both of those guys would be in some isolations at some point in time. That's what they've been doing lately, especially if they're not getting a lot of threes. And Brandon Walker's going to get a lot of touches. I think he's number 2 in the country in usage, so you know that. And I think what's important is, you got to make him do other things than score. And you try to, minimize the percentages. If he takes tough shots, then you're in a good spot. And I think we forced a couple tough ones. that allowed us to get into transition. We forced some turnovers that allowed us to get in transition and survive his baskets. Wasn't happy with the way McMahon was scoring in the second half, and that tightened the game up. I think our offense got stagnant at the same time. So it was highlighted a lot more in terms of his ability to make baskets. And so I think once we settled down and out of that 8-minute media, we were able to find some things defensively to kind of slow that down and take some of that away. We put Joe, we changed the matchup, and I thought Joe with a bigger body forced him to do something different.
Joe, they went up, I think, 1 early in the first half. It's like midway through the first half. Then you guys answered like a 22-7 run. Close out the half. What was that like when the crowd's going crazy and just sort of your first characteristic, and especially in that stretch?
Oh man, it was awesome. To have adversity hit us, and then just to know we got, like coach was saying, a 6-man on our side, and they really showed up tonight, and just to have that, it helped us get over that hump, and we were able to take off at that point. So it's really awesome. I loved it.
Kai, same thing. I mean, Trav probably told you that this game, there's going to be 6,000 plus people here. Seeing it though and playing in front of it, what was it like?
I mean, it was amazing. I've been looking forward to this game since I committed here, to be honest. And yeah, it definitely lived up to it. It was amazing to play in front of the Missoula community and have that gym packed out.
Trav, to have it kind of affirmed then to tell these guys this is what's going to be like, and then to have them experience a win in this environment.
It's huge. I think it was 2021, 2022, when Josh Bannon and Brandon Whitney sat here, and Josh Bannon said it was the most fun he's ever had playing basketball in front of that crowd. And to know that our community lives up to it every time is huge, because there's not a lot of places, especially on the West Coast, that you can touch the floor and be supported the way our players are. And so it's up to us to perform to keep that going.
It was another game where you guys had a double-digit lead and let a team come back into it late. So what did you like about the way the guys closed it out, but what are still the big things you feel you guys have to clean up to prevent that from happening going forward?
Playing good teams, and that's what good teams do, right? And sometimes you exert a lot of energy to get a lead. And, to get up 14, 16, you're probably playing really hard defensively. Things are clicking offensively. And then you have a decision to make as a coach. You get to about that 12.5-minute mark, and there's no dead balls. There's no stoppage until 10:40. You've got fatigue setting in. And that happened to us twice, where you want to leave the guys in that built the lead, but they get tired. And so something breaks. The dam breaks somewhere. And for us, it's usually been on the offensive side of the ball.
Good.
All right. Go Grizz.